Did you know that more than 50% of women worry about their safety? Our data shows that single women use our panic button more often. She owns her success. Episode 1. Your safety on the road, what to know.
Well, it is a green light here inside this gorgeous showroom where Momentum Insure Road Safety Series takes us into a conversation with the Chief Commercial Officer of Momentum Insure as well as racing driver Fabienne Lance. I'd like to discuss with you guys. Maybe you have some information with regards to what does it look like when we're in a situation when an accident happens, because this is not something that you think about every day, but it is something that you kind of need to be prepared for. So maybe you can talk us through a real world experience.
Sure. So we have a female client that recently had a vehicle accident on the N1 and she ended up in a ditch. And at that point, she felt very unsafe. She didn't know what the next step was. And she pulled out her phone, opened the Momentum app, pressed the digital panic button, safety alert button. And she got a call within seconds. And she explained her situation to the responder. And what we did then is we stayed on the phone with her until our security could get to her and spot her at her vehicle. So she was on the phone with us at all times. It just made her feel safer. Now, the part of this that we tried to address in our offering is we also wanted to do something beyond insurance. So in this particular client's situation, the vehicle she was in wasn't insured with us.
Okay.
But she is a client with other vehicles insured with us. So this is the exact situation that we try to cater for, where we follow the person, the client, and not the asset that's insured with us. And she was very worried about what's going to happen. And we helped her. We arranged a tow truck for her on her account. But in 10 minutes, the tow truck was with her. She sat in the security's car until the tow truck came to her, and we assisted her. And it just made her feel safe during that whole traumatic event.
Well, I am also sitting here with a race car driver and instructor. You teach cars, you teach go-kart drivers. I wish you were my go-kart driving instructor. When I was racing karts, I wasn't very good, Dipesh. I was being lapped all the time and I went off on the chicane.
Yeah.
I don't know what a chicane is. But had Fabienne maybe been there, you would have taught me how to drive. So you don't just teach driving skills, how to hit the apex, but what would you teach a young girl driver to know from a safety perspective before she gets into the car?
Looking ahead is very important. So that's the first thing I teach the students. The eyes need to go far in the distance. People change lanes, people stop. The highway is known to a standing stop. And then you got time to react, to plan, to slow down. Drive in the middle lane because you can go left and right. So you always want options. So you always want to position yourself in a situation where you have options.
There was something that my dad always used to instill in me, which was expect the other driver to do something or know what the other driver is going to do. I don't know what the other driver is going to do. What does that even mean?
So the similar language of my dad brought that through is the body language of the car. So the person's body language actually shows in the car. Now, what does that mean? What are you looking for? And they call that defensive driving, is where you need to be anticipating that this person is going to do some move that comes out of nowhere and you need time to react. And that's the processing in your mind that takes place subconsciously and continuously. So that's why you always want to be present. We know today's modern age, a lot of people want to type and voice note and so on. Be in that moment. You need to get your destination.
On our app, we have a distracted driving feature where if client plays on their phone or text, they would get a notification to remind them to put their phone away. So in no way does it negatively impact the premiums or anything like that. But it's just a reminder that you need to put your phone away. We also have a feature which is called fatigue detection, where if you're driving for a specific number of hours under a specific type of speed, you would get a message to say you need to take a break.
Fatigue alert. Take a break when possible.
Do you want to maybe take us through some of the stats?
So we have almost half our clients that are female. And if you look at all the call-outs that have happened we're pressing the button or calling in, 45% of them have been female clients. And out of those 45%, there's 62% that were single females.
Oh, interesting.
So, which sort of makes sense. So it tells us that single females definitely feel more unsafe on the road. And if you think about the reasons that they press it for, about 50% of them relates to breakdowns, vehicle breakdowns, running out of fuel, and vehicle accidents.
I'm very interested in the fact that there are a lot of single females that utilize your offering and that the offering is actually applicable.
We're really trying to look after our clients' safety because we understand that in our country, more than 70% of South Africans actually feel unsafe. Now, they may not have had a traumatic event happen to all of them, but the fact that they feel unsafe sort of it doesn't allow them to live their lives more confidently and more freely. And that's really our safety value proposition. And I think it resonates quite a lot with women, especially single women on the roads.
We were speaking a little bit off camera, and Fabienne mentioned that a similar sort of situation had happened to her. Do you want to talk through your car accident experience?
So I'm on my way to the racetrack. It's a winter morning, and I'm going around a corner, all normal, and the car lost control. But now, of course, now I'm sitting there, obviously asking myself, does something hurt? Seatbelt did a good job. My knee hit the key, and I was like, I think it's best I don't move. Now, where's the phone? So now we got to find the phone. We got to phone. Naturally, we want to phone our dads. But my mum was closer to me at that point where I was. So calling parent, that helps. They come to the scene. Somebody stopped. But sometimes you're not that lucky, to get away with that. I think the whole process from there was actually quite systematic. But what do you do when you don't know that? And of course, speaking about the app and that comes in so handy because your go-to in emergency needs to be just that press button.
So Fabienne, if I can add to that, what we did recently as an additional feature on our app is just for that situation where you have an incident, but you can't find your phone. So we can pick up from your app that you've had an accident. We call it accident alert, and it measures the change in G-force on your phone. So what that then does is it triggers a press of the button on your behalf. So you don't have to be fiddling around and you'll get emergency response immediately.
That's actually really smart. Well done.
Well, what I'm really enjoying is the fact that Momentum Insure has really considered so much from a woman's perspective and what it means to go through the full experience, going through the app, having the driver's experience, and then having a driver with her experience showing me the ropes of what that means from the user experience. Knowledge is power. Let's learn a little bit more with the Momentum Insure Road Safety Series. Thanks for joining us on this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Visit momentum.co.za for a quote or speak to your financial advisor. Statistics referenced in this production are directly from Momentum Insure's behavioral data.